Hello and welcome to our reading for the week of October 29th through November 4th, 2023. Hard to imagine it's going to be November. I'm actually recording this on Saturday, which is the day of the lunar eclipse, which should be starting, I think it starts about 5:30 here. Should be culminating by 6, ending by 6:30. Whether we'll be able to see it or not, I don't know. With sunset starting earlier, it's quite possible that we will see it here. But I have many things to do tomorrow, so I thought, okay, let's take care of getting our reading done today for the week, so that everybody can have it in the morning instead of the middle of the afternoon, the way it does seem to turn out for me. Those of you not familiar, I do these readings with cartouche cards, which are Egyptian in their inflection. And I also use tarot to go along with it. And this time I'm using the Halloween tarot because Halloween on Tuesday, or Samhain, as you prefer. And I usually do an extra oracle, and for this week I'm going to be doing the Norse runes, which I keep in this bag. So let us do our astrological spread for the week. If you are not new to the channel, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. If you are new, welcome. Please consider subscribing if you like this video, if you find it useful. Like and subscribe, and leave comments if you would like. As of right now, I am not one of the tarot readers who seems to be being spammed quite regularly. So hopefully that trend will continue, and I can get comments from people, probably because this is still a very small channel compared to others. So yeah, anytime you hit like and subscribe, that definitely helps give my channel a lot more visibility. I only do general readings as of right now. I have not moved into the territory of doing them by sign, but these are done according to the general astrology of the week. And I try to interpret them in as many veins as possible to make them applicable to as many people as possible. I read by astrological house, and we will see what comes up for this week. So this way I cover all aspects of things, and then it's very clear what the cards are referring to. There's no ambiguity there. Okay, so let's see what we have. I hope there's not too much background noise in this reading because it is a gorgeous day, and so I have windows open. It's going to be, wow, it's going to be beautiful. So, okay, let's begin very logically at the beginning. So with the astrological spread, we're doing it according to the 12 houses. And so we're going Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, etc., all the way through Pisces. And each house has its own meaning as connected with those zodiac signs. So the first house is connected to Aries. It is Mars energy, and this is connected to the self and how you present yourself and how you are, your ego, your identity, what you want the world to see about you, and also the things that have to do with self-care and things that you should be doing to take care of yourself. And we are starting great this week, starting with Seth. Seth is our bringer of storms. So when Seth comes up in the first house, it very bluntly states in the cartouche book, it generally means that your problems are being caused by yourself. Okay, so I don't know. That's good or bad news for some people. I always feel like it's saying when Seth comes up in the first house, it seems to be saying the things that we're worried about, happening in our environment. It's got less to do with the external factors and more to do with how we're thinking about it or how we're perceiving it. It doesn't mean that we're making a mistake or doing something bad, but it does seem to indicate that we need to look at ourselves rather than to other people to figure out where we need to change things. Okay, and we have it with Ta, and Ta is it's Saturn oriented, it's Capricorn energy, and this has to do with the building of something. It also has to do with work. Very strongly masculine card in a positive sense. So this really seems to be saying that we might be in a headspace where maybe things are not happening. We're looking to blame other people in situations. And it's like, look, you just need to buckle down and do the work. You need to continue building. You need to embrace the sort of we're talking about masculinity here. It's more action oriented. Let's focus on doing and less on worrying, or less about thinking. And with this Capricorn energy, there's a certain amount of persistence involved. So this is very much saying that we may be putting the big roadblock this week might be ourselves, and that we can overcome that roadblock just through persistently plodding along and getting through the work that we need to do. Now we have it with the Wheel of Fortune card, and the Wheel of Fortune suggests, well, it can suggest going around and around. I mean, in this case, I feel like it may have to do with, we may just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again, and we have to stop and say, okay, what am I doing here? And what kind of action do I need to take to make things different? So let's look through the rest of the reading and see how that might shed light on ways in which we might change that pattern. Second house has to do with money, possessions. This is the house of Taurus. It's ruled by Venus. Also has to do with our personal values. And here we have Horus. For some people, that's going to mean money coming in from family, because this is a very strong family-oriented card. It also has to do with, Horus is a card of heroics, and it's also a card of charisma. So there's definitely a sense here of putting your best foot forward, putting your best face forward to move through your difficulties. There's a healing energy connected with this. So I feel like with regard to money, there's definitely, we have it with the Eight of Bats, or the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is about mentally being stuck. So we may feel trapped when it comes to our finances. Maybe we feel we don't have enough money. Maybe we're saying, I don't know how I'm going to fix this problem. I can only fix this problem this way or this way. And this may be saying that you have more options, that you need to think outside the box. The family aspect could also mean don't repeat family patterns when it comes to money, because we may have certain ideas that we have inherited about wealth and accumulation and having stuff. So this may be telling us like we need to break free of that way of thinking. And of course, the good news about Horus is that it does seem to indicate that we have what it takes to fix the problem or to break through this situation. We have the tools, we have the talent. We just have to get past the mental block that we have with regard to our finances. The third house this week has to do, this is Gemini, so it's ruled by Mercury, and it is has to do with messages that we receive, communications, short journeys, possibly things having to do with our siblings, if that applies, and technology and things like that. So we have the Ankh, okay? So the Ankh is it's usually a card of romantic love. It's also a card of just zeal for life, enjoying things, living your life. We have it with the King of Imps, or the King of Wands. So to me, the King of Wands, okay, the King of Wands could be, for somebody, this literally could mean a love communication from somebody who fits the King of Wands profile. This could just be a very determined person. It could be a person who is a fire sign. So that would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So there could be some kind of communication you've been waiting for from somebody, and maybe that's going to come in. And this would be more of a love communication in that case. If that doesn't apply, and I imagine for a lot of people that won't apply, this more suggests going for it. Within the realm of communication, it's more like, no, just keep communicating. Like there could be an enjoyment of communication. There could be a back and forth, or either with somebody you love or getting into something that you really enjoy. Because you know how it is when you really enjoy something and really enjoy talking about something, like you really feel alive, you really feel into it. Like that's the kind of energy that we have with the Ankh here. And so I feel like there could be some very positive, animated kind of communications, like kind of encouraging you to go for it, to do what you love. Again, this could be a short journey for some people. It could connect to siblings and something you're doing with siblings, potentially. But all of this is resonating in this house of Gemini. And I just feel very strongly that this has to do with messages. Could be messages from this particular person, or this could represent you just having to be determined to go for what you want and to just do what you love. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to apply differently for different people, obviously. But yeah, there's definitely, for some people, that's a very strong love message. For other people, it might be just represent the way in which we need to communicate what it is that we want and what we need, and just go for it. Don't hold back. Don't have this restricted thinking. Like, just kind of go for it and get ahead. Okay, fourth house. This has to do with Cancer energy. And this is Cancer, of course, is ruled by the moon. And of course, we're having an eclipse today. And not surprisingly, in this house, because this usually has to do with our home, like our physical home that we live in. It can also have to do with family, with our mother in particular. But there's definitely a home and environment kind of a thing. And yeah, we have Earth here. So Earth, well, first of all, if you're thinking about moving, Earth probably indicates that you're probably not going to, at least right now. Because Earth is about putting down roots. But Earth also is there's also something very strongly financial about Earth. So for some people, it could be the buying or selling of a house, potentially, or money coming in connection with the house, or with the family, or maybe even through somebody's mother. But we have it with the Ace of Bats, which is the Ace of Swords. So yeah, definitely, and aces bring messages, and they bring really sudden new beginnings. The swords have to do with air elements, so this has to do with the way that we think about things. So this could just be new thoughts, new ideas that are coming in. But this definitely, I think the way I first learned this card many, many years ago was that whatever's coming, it's coming with a bang. I mean, it's jumping right in. And in this case, I don't know, there's something, being this is the house of security, it could also be a message about your financial security. So seeing what we have over here, this may be, again, also, when we have this Eight of Swords here, and then the Ace of Swords be kind of like, okay, breaking out of this and just cutting straight through and getting to something new. So I don't know. For some people, this is literally going to be connected with your house or your home. It could also just have to do with, seeing new things coming in terms of your financial security and even just your personal sense of security, like, new ideas. I feel like this is a very positive thing. Like something that has not occurred to you, just it's like the lightning bulb goes off over your head and you suddenly figure it out. Fifth house is Leo energy, and this is another one of those houses. It's a house of creativity. It's a house of leisure, so this could be about taking vacations and things like that. It's also has to do with children, and it can also have to do with love affairs, so unlegalized relationships. Okay, and we have Two of Pumpkins here, or Two of Pentacles, and we also have the Osiris card. Now, Osiris is, again, Sagittarius energy with Osiris, and that's in a fire house, so it's a fire kind of energy. It still also has a lot of energy of the Emperor as well, which is a little bit more Aries in its inflection. But this definitely suggests a sense of stability. So again, depending on where this applies, this could be being in a love relationship that is stable. Like if you're worried about things changing, it just seems like it's going to, that things are on solid ground. If there's concerns about your children, this could also be saying, again, that there's a situation that it's solid. Like to me, I always see Osiris as it can be creating a solid foundation. It can also mean things are kind of where they are right now. They're not necessarily getting better at the moment, but they're not getting any worse. Okay, there's definitely a sense of, again, there's this idea of kind of putting down roots here. Now, Two of Pumpkins has to do with juggling a lot of things. So for some people, you may be juggling multiple projects, or you may be trying to see how to fit in both leisure time with work, or it may be where you may even be fitting a relationship in if you've been having a love affair, but you're busy with 20,000 other things. I mean, Two of Pumpkins to me is like spinning a lot of plates and keeping a lot of balls in the air. And at some point, some kind of decision has to be made, some kind of prioritization has to be done. But Two of Pumpkins also for some people can indicate natural change as opposed to forced change. So it could be just trying to naturally go with a busy flow of things, and being able to sort that out. So again, take that as it applies. If we're talking about creative projects, then it could just be that something's on a solid footing, and maybe if you haven't had time to work on things, it's just a matter of figuring out how to make that work. But that does seem to indicate that will happen. Sixth house is Virgo energy, and Virgo is ruled also by, let's see, Virgo is Earth, and I want to say, I always get Virgo confused, who Virgo is ruled by. I always want to say Venus for Virgo, but I think it's actually Mercury that rules Virgo. In any case, Virgo energy has to do with health, worry, what things that we're worried or anxious about. Can have to do with our job, our service to others, and in some cases, pets for some people. But there's definitely a strong health element and a strong sense of kind of needing to get organized, get your ducks in a row. Very, very strongly associated with Virgo. Yeah, we have fire here, but we also have the Knight of Pumpkins, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And so there's the idea that we may be concerned about things that are moving along very, very slowly. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pumpkins, is the slowest moving card in the deck. So there's this idea of slow and steady movement, but we have it with fire. So this is strong Mars energy. And to me, this has to do with the fire energy that we see here in the sixth house can indicate a kind of impatience. It can indicate emotions that are bubbling up. It can indicate the need to throw out or burn up things that aren't working for us anymore. So you've got this plotting energy of the Knight of Pumpkins with this fire card. So there could be almost a clash there that could be creating worry. You may feel you're not moving along with your work as fast as you would like. A lot of times that's the way those two can interact with each other. So the suggestion here would be that this still would be a time for throwing out the old, like clearing out clutter. To me, their fire would be in the sense of purification. Let's get rid of all the crap that we don't need right now, and just keep slowly plodding forward. I think there's a phrase, actually I think it was in the Book of Runes, when fishermen can't go to sea, they repair nets. So if there's things that you can't do right now or you feel stuck on, this may be saying, then just worry about finishing up old business first, and then we can focus on moving forward. Our seventh house here is Libra and Libra energy. This is ruled by Venus, and so there's this partnership element. Libra is the scales, and interestingly, sometimes the scales have to do with justice, and we have crook and flail here. For some people, this is a legal situation. It could be legalizing of a relationship. So for some people, this could actually be a marriage. We have it with the Six of Imps, which are the Six of Wands. That has to do with recognition for something. And Crook and Flail is a card also of recognition. So for somebody, this can indicate getting into a partnership with somebody who is very well recognized or who is well known. It also could mean that you, as a result of a partnership, maybe you are going to be more well recognized and well known. So there's this sense here of becoming visible and moving up in this. So again, whether this has to do with a legal matter, whether it has to do with a business partnership, which is entirely possible, or whether this has to do with a love relationship that is going to, I don't know. I mean, for some people, if this is about love over here, then this could actually have to do with being seen by the person that you love. And this person perhaps being a person of status, or the message there might just be confident and be out there and be a leader. Both of these cards definitely imply being a leader in some kind of relationship situation. And again, doesn't have to be love. It can also have to do with business. And it can also, if you're married, it could also have to do with your partner. So something to think about there. See where that falls in for you. Our eighth house is Scorpio and Scorpio energy. And Scorpio is the house of transformation. It is about, just as the second house has to do with your money and your finances, this has to do with other people's money and how it affects your life. And that's worth mentioning because we see the Ace of Pumpkins or the Ace of Pentacles. So this is indicating some kind of a new situation. Again, could be a new sense of security. And it has to do with finances as well. Like, because Pentacles tend to have to do with money and possessions and stuff and property and that kind of stuff. So there may be, again, just kind of seeing this partnership over here, there could be a boost in your share, in your finances, in a joint situation, like with somebody else. There could be new monies coming in, or a new business deal, or although honestly, 8th house has to do with legacies, so this could be legal money received from something, from a legacy. It could be a gift from a family member, something like that. But there's some kind of new financial. This is more to do with something that provides opportunity. So something new here, and we have it with Anubis. So now Anubis, when it shows up in the 8th house, remember Anubis is the guide through the underworld, and this is the house of life and death over here with Scorpio. And it's, Anubis here would suggest to me the idea that perhaps we have passed through something where we feel we've needed to be protected in some way. Not just financially, but just in terms of life changes. Something, or maybe where we feel we've had to shut down and shut people out, or shut situations out because we're trying to hold the course, trying to protect ourselves. Anubis provides assurance that we are protected, that we are being guided on the route to our changes and transformations and things that are going on for us. So, so really there's a sense of not to worry. Again, there's this feeling of, like I've seen down here, like with the go with the flow. And this does seem to suggest some kind of a new financial opportunity, or new opportunity to reestablish your roots or reestablish your security in some way that is connected here to other people's money. Somebody else bringing some kind of an opportunity. Let's look at the 9th house. This is Sagittarius and Sagittarius energy. This has to do with deep thoughts, deep thinking. So this is philosophy, religion, the way that we see life, the way that we negotiate these things. And it also has to do with long journeys. Long journey doesn't have to be overseas, but it could just be someplace far away that's a distance away. It's not a short drive like you might have with a 3rd house situation. It also has to do with higher education. So if you're at school, if college, university, whatever, or doing some kind of higher learning, outside of K through 12 or primary education, this would have to do with that as well. So potentially, if you have questions about a course or a degree that you're taking, this would also apply here. And yeah, we've got the winged disc here. So the winged disc is the disc of the sun. This is very nice. So this indicates overcoming difficulties and obstacles. In terms of travel, to me, you see the wings here, we're flying. So there does seem to be the idea of somebody potentially flying somewhere or going somewhere. Either way, it just seems that we're going to overcome some difficulty or have some kind of victory with regard to that, whether it means taking a journey somewhere that's going to help us accomplish something, or whether it is whether it's something that we're trying to do, some kind of learning milestone that we reach, whether we are actually taking a formal course or not. Now we have it with the 2 of Imps, or the 2 of Wands. Now 2 of Wands, this is dominion. This is being in control of a situation. And the 2 of Wands here, often it's when we're just starting out on something. Sometimes it's when we have to make a choice. 2s often have to do with making decisions about things. But this is where we are in control and setting off. So, there's definitely, being it's a 2, we feel very much like we're at the beginning of something. So, yeah, so I do feel like here that there is a sense of, again, either through a trip or either through some kind of educational thing, that there's going to be a chance to move ahead with something. Okay, so let's look at the 10th house. And the 10th house has to do with Capricorn. This is Saturn energy. And Capricorn is where this has to do with our fame, our reputation, work, has to do with the father, potentially. But a lot of this has to do with what I think of as career, as opposed to like something you just do to pull money in. Like whatever it is, however you're making your mark on the world. Okay, that's what this has to do with. And we have Isis here. Okay, so for some people, this has to do with something motherly, nurturing, healing. But there's also a sense of mystery to Isis because she's also connected a lot with the High Priestess. And yeah, we've got Queen of Bats here, so that's definitely kind of an opposite energy. Queen of Swords energy has to do with the intellect, thinking clearly, being very, very sharp, sometimes being critical. Could also indicate a woman who is an air sign. So when we have air signs, we have either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You could have somebody of that ilk or background. But Queen of Swords is, yeah, this is generally this is somebody who's seen it and who you can't pull BS, can't pull the wool over their eyes. Okay. And to have it with Isis there, yeah, to me that has more to do with uncovering what's hidden. And this has to do with one's career. So there may be a path forward that's being shown. This could, for some people, be actually a very intellectual path. So somebody might, again, I'm seeing all this victory in higher ed. This could be somebody who finishes a degree and gets an academic job. I mean, could be something like that. But Queen of Swords to me is just being very, very clear and very, very focused about what somebody wants. But we have it with Isis. So again, the other aspect of Isis has to do with perseverance. We may have to just we may see clearly where we're going, but we may have to just patiently persevere to get what it is that we want. So, yeah, but definitely strong intellectual energy there combined with uncovering those things that are hidden. But, you know, the fact that I'm seeing this very sharp-edged sword energy combined with the nurturing energy of Isis would indicate to me there may be a need to approach a situation keeping both elements in mind, not being too sharp, not being too critical, but perhaps also not being overly soft either. There's definitely a sense of, and yeah, there's definitely a sense of uncovering something here. It makes total sense in light of the eclipse that's just about to happen, or that will have happened by the time you watch this, because eclipse energy, particularly an eclipse in Taurus, it reveals stuff. It reveals stuff, particularly about our money and about our, about our security and our financial situations. So there is it's definitely feeling like there's going to be some kind of revelation. And for some people, this has to do with the home, has to do with the job, or one's career, or where they're going, and perhaps with partnerships, business, or otherwise. Okay. So let's go to the 11th house. That's Aquarius and Aquarius energy. This has to do with our networks, our friendships, our social circles, our socializing, and also with our goals. You know, what we want to accomplish, because this Aquarian energy is very future facing, so it's about where we're headed towards. Now we got Nephthys. Okay, this is a very clear message that it may not be time. We may not, whatever wish or goal you have, you may not have. It may not be happening yet for you. This definitely shows a sense of waiting for all the pieces to come together to get what it is that you want. And we have it with the Seven of Imps, or the Seven of Wands. And this card has to do with standing your ground on something. Okay, there's like a defensiveness here. There's a need to stand your ground on something, and so that suggests to me. I mean, we did see some of this impatience and anxiety here. This Knight of Pumpkins directly across from it. This Knight of Pentacles. There's a sense that you're moving slowly and steadily towards something. This could also have to do with a friendship as well. If there's a friendship that's developing, this is interesting because I'm looking back here at this King of Imps and the Ankh. It could be that if you are in communication with somebody, you know, even if it's something that seems like it's going to be moving towards love, maybe it's a friend who you want to move towards a romantic relationship. It may be saying, you know, you need to give this some more time. The person could be defensive right now, may or may not have anything to do with you, but there's something going on where, you know, there's not a movement ahead. So the other possibility too is a friendship or an association that has not happened yet, because Nephthys always has to do with what's not occurred yet. But I don't know. I feel more like it's something you're reaching for, or some kind of development in a friendship or something that hasn't happened yet, and you just kind of have to wait and see where it goes. So yeah, there's definitely the sense that, or just in general, what you're wishing for, what your goals are. It's saying, okay, we're not there yet. But again, Nephthys isn't no, Nephthys is not yet. You don't, have the whatever that last puzzle piece is you don't have, but don't give up on it. I mean, seven of wands seems to indicate no, you're on the right track. You know what you need, and if you have people around you who are going, oh, you're wasting your time on this or that, or they don't listen to those people. You know best. Okay. 12th house is Pisces, and Pisces, just as the first house has to do with what we show to people, this has to do with what we don't show to people. It's what's hidden, it's what we're afraid of, it's what's unconscious. For some people, this will have to do with foreign travel, because this is the house of, foreign travel used to be considered a type of exile, so this is a house that's kind of exiled and away from everything else. But it's Piscean energy, so it's also a strong energy of the imagination. But it's also energy that can be deceptive to us as well. So we have to always kind of keep all that in balance when looking at 12th house. Very spiritual house too. We have Hathor here. So Hathor, again, strong feminine energy showing up here in the 12th house. Hathor energy is inspirational. It is kind of this culmination of femininity. For a man, this is very strong, or let's just say a straight man, this is very strong anima energy. This is strong feminine energy, the female soul energy, so to speak. And it also has strong vibes of the Empress. So there's a sense of there could be worries or concerns about something creative, something that's growing, something that you are perhaps investing creative energy in or time in. And you may be wondering where that's going to go. We have it with the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Imps. So yeah, we've got some fire here. So that there's the idea there. Ace of Imps is like a new idea, a new project, or new fire that's lit, trying to do something. It's like this new inspiration that comes in. So I feel here like there may be worries about whether or not, about a new beginning, whether or not something's going to come together, whether you're going to have it all together. Because Hathor is also somebody who embodies kind of all of the qualities of womanhood. Again, kind of like what we saw with the Isis Queen of Bats energy over here. There's like this, it runs the gamut of the woman who is the, very domestic and nurturing mother, to the woman who wants nothing to do with mothering and is very independent and is just very organized and forthright in whatever it is that she's doing. Again, there's this very strong feminine thing that's going on here, but it's connected to this impulse towards something new. So I would suggest that this indicates that there may be fears about a new beginning. Maybe for some people it's literally fear of a woman or a woman's influence in something. But I feel like because this is showing up in the House of Fears, it may be just more concerns about how something's going to grow and how it's going to get off the ground and how it's going to be nurtured. And again, that's just more in the speculative what's ifness of things. It may connect in with finances as well, because this is where we really see the stuck thinking with the Eight of Swords, Eight of Bats, Eight of Swords. So to me, there's encouragement there that whatever this new beginning is that we're worried about, it's really more of a worry. We should not let that worry stop us from doing what it is that we want to do, or what we want to move forward with. Now, overall, I kind of my eyebrows raised here because we have the Twins card overall. Twins, of course, is usually Gemini energy. It's sort of akin to the Lovers, only the Twins in this particular deck is more about relationships and not so much about choice. As in tarot, when we see the Lovers, that can mean that we're being presented with a choice. This card really literally does seem to do with partnering with another person, whether that be romantically, whether it be in business, whether it just simply be saying, whatever you're ready to embark on, you're going to embark on with friends, loved ones, other people maybe who are experts, or maybe there's a project you want to take on and saying, hey, don't do this by yourself. Could be a lot of things, but the second card that goes with it is the Two of Cups, the Two of Ghosts in this one. And that's very funny because they literally mean exactly the same thing, and they both showed up in the center of the reading. So, and two of Ghosts, Two of Cups to me is more, to me that implies more romantic partnerships, but it doesn't have to. It can also just mean a deep friendship, or it can just mean somebody with whom you feel very emotionally secure or have a lot of trust with, who is coming in to aid or help with a particular situation, or who's going to be influential on whatever your future direction is. So very interesting reading this week. It definitely, again, just to sort of summarize, we may be up in our head a lot about things, about our security, about our finances, maybe even about our communications with certain people. And there's definitely reminding us that we have not, we don't want to get into repeating past patterns. We don't want to get ourselves stuck worrying about the same old concerns about security because we have all this new stuff. In fact, one thing that's coming in my mind, like we have the Ace of Pentacles in the 8th house and we have the Ace of Wands in the 12th house. So to me, those are both very highly transformative houses and you're seeing aces there. So there's definitely new beginnings. Oh yeah, and in our house of security, you have the Ace of Swords. You got 3 aces this week. You've got 3 out of 4 aces this week. So, there is definitely something new. There's definitely new energy coming in, and this is definitely going to involve other people or perhaps another person of significance. And for some people, this is going to have to do with either greater learning or perhaps taking a journey of some kind. But all in all, don't worry about what you might perceive as the slowness of a situation right now. Things are definitely getting ready to take off. So let's do our Norse Rune. We're going to do that as our little extra message to close out. And we have Laguz, okay? And yeah, Laguz is the rune of intuition. So this is definitely, it is a rune of partnership for those, again, who are interested in that kind of a thing. There is the idea of the attunement of something that has 2 sides or of success. Its success lies in contacting your intuitive knowing. So you know, as much as we have this, it's interesting because I'm looking at the Queen of Swords up here, especially with Isis. That may also represent not a warning, but just a piece of advice saying, don't always think entirely with your head. Make sure you're also thinking with your heart to some degree, because there may be things, again, between Isis, we've got her sister Nephthys right next to her. They both imply things that are hidden. We've got Anubis, we've got the god of the underworld, a deity connected with underworld and underworld passage. There's a lot of this stuff here that's suggesting that there's stuff coming up to the surface right now. So again, we've been seeing this over the past few weeks, and it's definitely with this eclipse. Now we've got, like I said, we've got these aces, like triple fire of aces here, and there definitely seems to be the sense of recognition, of heading towards getting what we want, even though we're not quite there yet. What's jumping into my mind is the phrase, just because something hasn't manifested yet doesn't mean it's not happening. So I feel like this is a very strongly encouraging reading. We have, the only place where we're seeing our difficulties here with Seth, our storm bringing, is in our own minds and is in our own, we may be worried about how we come across to other people or what we're doing. And we need to, that's the good news about that is that's a problem we can solve, because we're the only ones who can look at ourselves and make things better. So so that's the good news. It's not that your whatever your difficulty is this week, it's not going to be in someone else's hands, it's going to be in your own, and that means you can do something about it. So great news. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful Samhain, Halloween, whatever you want to call it, Dios de los Muertos, whatever you celebrate this week. If you're a Christian and you go to All Saints Day, All Souls Day, whatever it is that you do this week. I should mention astrologically that this coming Saturday, Saturn now goes direct, which is also going to be something that's going to take the brakes off and allow a lot of stuff that has been stuck. It will finally allow it to move forward as well. So we could be seeing an omen of that as well. So lots to look forward to. October's been a weird month astrologically, and now I feel like with November, we are in Scorpio season now, but there's definitely a sense of starting to move ahead with a lot of things. So I wish you luck, have a fantastic week, and until next week.